Hello garden lovers, I hope you're well. I'm just going to show you some spring flowers in my garden, and then we'll get to what I bought recently. These tulips are from last year. They come back okay, but not as amazing as it was on the first year. And the cherry blossom was very pretty 2 weeks ago, and unfortunately this is the downside of having blossoms. They just get everywhere. Here we have the Emily Bronte, which is leafing up very nicely. Some Pominaria, and this is the short climber called Shropshire Lad, one of my earliest David Austin roses. And some more on this shadier border. Looking forward to this one. Is Florentina, flowered only a little bit last year, so I hope this year would be better. And the lovely coloured foliage of Silas Mana. Okay, here is my shopping haul. My goodness, I haven't done such a big shop for a while. This one is a pear tree and a geum that I bought over the Easter weekend when B&Q had 20% off. So I couldn't resist. So cheerful. And look at the buds on this. And I do like my fruit trees, and so I got another one. This is the conference pear, and I might be lucky and get a few pears this summer. So I was at the Helier Garden Centre yesterday, and my jaws dropped when they had this fresh delivery of Parfuma collection. They almost had the entire collection. I couldn't contain my excitement. It was like a child in a toy shop. I knew I was in trouble when they had so many healthy ones. Oh, I just could not pick one. I had to walk away with 3 from the Parfuma collection because they were so healthy. How gorgeous is that? Very, very healthy. So I picked up Fruity Parfuma. I think it's a pinky coral one. And this one here is Raspberry Parfuma, also known as Fraulein Maria, and Raspberry Cupcake in the US. I'm so excited. Hope to see them growing this summer. And this one is quite a recent introduction, I think, in the new to the family of Parfuma roses. I believe it was introduced in 2020. It's the Porcelain Parfuma. I was inspired by a fellow YouTuber, JJ, who got this one, who was inspired by another YouTuber, Rose Garden Gems, because she bought this as well. So now my Parfuma collection has increased. I can't remember how many I have at the moment. And but here, this one is not from the Parfuma collection, but it's one that I have seen and liked very much. It's called Novalis. I think that other name for it is also called Poseidon. Quite unusual colour, like a lavender colour. Gorgeous. This one I picked up because I just love the Love the colour. Lovely. This one's from another garden centre I bought last week. And this one, Princess Charlene of Monaco, was on my wish list for a while. This is actually a replacement because the one that was sent didn't survive. So, but this one looks very, very healthy. I'm afraid to move it right now, so I'll just leave it in the pot to establish itself for a bit before I actually start moving them around. Now I've got so many roses, I'm not sure whether I have time to look after them all. So I'm going to show you a flower bed that I prepared, and pots of my roses in the ground because I just don't have time to keep them watered. Over here is a flower bed that I prepared a few weeks ago, and I put some of my roses in here, ones that I don't have any pots for. This particular one here is from the Parfuma collection. This one is called Summer Romance. Last year it was potted, but it's quite a vigorous grower, and I thought it would be better in the ground. This one is Ancient Mariner, which I got from last year. And this one, new one, is Boscabelle. I have two. Yeah, I have two because I bought one and then my brother gave me one, probably because he felt sorry for me for reaching his 1,000 subscribers, and just left me, you know, lagging behind. Yeah, he deserves it though, but don't tell him that. Right, this is the area that I've dug up. These roses are just temporary, I've just placed them there. So some of my roses will be homed in this area. Like I said, I have so many pots, and I would landscape this garden if I had intended to stay, but I don't know how long I would stay in this house for. But I also don't want to deprive myself of the joy of having beautiful blooms, because it may be for like 4 or 5 years before I move. So here we go. Next year would be a very lovely rose bed. And oh, those tree stumps, I'm not moving those. I thought it might create a bit more interest to have the tree stump in there. Here are my potted roses. Now let me show you what varieties they are and how they are progressing very nicely. We had an awful wet winter. I mean spring, it's very, very wet, and in the last few days it was very rainy and windy. This one is Eustacia Vi. It's holding up very well. This one is Mill on the Floss. Here's a climber. And this new one here, which is Olivia, and another Boscabelle. Now Elizabeth is a very good performer. Lots of fresh growth. This skinny one is a little bit slow to develop. This one is Gabriel Oak. Yep. And with all this wet weather, it's given some of my roses black spot. Now what I do with, I don't spray my roses, but I do try and keep them healthy by removing some aphids This one here. You see with the tooth, I use it a toothbrush, and you just like brush it so I don't get green fingers, which is not very nice. But sometimes these aphids, you see, they do hide in between the leaves, and sometimes even the undersides of the leaves. I don't know why they are so clever. You know, aphids are tiny, and even with tinier brains. How is something so tiny so clever? Yeah. So now we move on to, this is Strawberry Hill. I've grown a clematis through this, so hopefully they'll have a nice kind of combination. And another one that I've from the Parfuma collection is the Adorable Parfuma. I bought bare root last winter, just gone, and I potted it up, and it's growing very nicely. So this is just a few of the selection of the pots in my garden. I do have a few tulips that I bought last year. These are the first ones, that's why they look so good. However, I didn't realise I planted them in such a straight row, but I think it was possibly because it was raining and it was cold and I just wanted to go inside. But a nice bit of colour for the spring. I'm also very pleased about my Asian pears. Gorgeous. I did have pears last year, and so I'm looking forward to having pears again this year. But the star of the show, I think this week, would be my Magnolia. This is a short variety, I think. It's called Genie. Magnolia Genie. Dark colour. Very nice. It's I've had it for about 4 years now. It's looking great. I'm going to tell you a tip actually, how to this Amalanthia here is a bit lopsided. You see all the growth is on one side and not enough on this side. So what I'd done a few years back was look for a node here, a node, and you'd slice a little wedge above the node, just enough to take off the outer layer. The ones that that is not done is possibly this one here. This one, I haven't done that one. If you slice, if you want it to grow that way, so it's not so lopsided, what you do is you take a little sliver above the node. This one's failed. It didn't take, but it didn't harm the plant. It just healed over. Whereas this one, you see, this one worked. You see, I've got a little branch which balances out the shape a bit more. This one also, oh, I can't. This one worked as well. So it balances out the shape a bit better. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't kill the plant. You see how it's balanced now. Amalanthia, flowering shrub, also a small tree. Fantastic for a small garden. Has berries in the summer for the birds, and fantastic autumn colour. Okay, I'm going to finish this video with an update on Danahue and Penelope Lively. We're just going to have a look at the growth. Danahue is doing so fantastically well. Each one has a bud on it. This one has a very big bud. this one is such a good doer. I just never knew. This will be its second summer, so we'll see how it performs. This one was last year's introduction also. It's a Penelope Lively. It was very, very slow to get started, but it just seems to have a bit of life now. It's just got a bit of stride in it. You can see there's a flower blood there, and also some tiny ones coming. Yeah, so we shall see how they do in the summer.